Councilor Barth.
All right. That was a lot. That was a lot. I know. He talked a lot. He yapped a lot. A lot of interesting things happening right now because really this is what's gonna set up the future for future TIFs. We got a little bit to cover. I'm gonna try and not melt your mind, give you too much information, but I just want to give you the base of it. All right, so a TIF district is basically like a blighted district. It's a shithole, and no investors want to put money into it. Nothing's going to get built in on that property or in that district. So a TIF district is created, and this is more of like a funding mechanism. It's an investor mechanism. No matter what you see, when you see it in real time, when you see when real things happen, you see what it's all about. So we're just going to take this, for example, is this Broad Ripple Family Center. So Barth wanted to, Barth over here wanted to create a special TIF, and I think it was a really good idea. It the money that's collected in that the tax money that's collected in that area goes into two things, and it goes into two funds. A general fund that will cover like schools, fire department, whatever's in that area, and the other part will go into a fund that will go to help revitalize certain areas or clean up or whatever. But it's only in that district. So what Barth proposed, which is good, it was he created a board was created. Uh, the MEC, the Midtown Economic Council, whatever it was, and they picked the members, whoever it was, but they got to choose of where that money is spent, where normally the city would. How that money is spent and through different departments or whatever usually gets thrown through the council if I'm not mistaken. So what's going on is the Broad Ripple Family Center is 26 million, and the board is pissed off of that TIF district because they were supposed to vote on where that 26 million is spent. They want to go and build grocery centers, affordable housing, whatever. But now the city council, the Indy City Council, all of them, well, actually their master, which is Hogset, um, they decided, well, they're going to use that money from the fund and they're going to use it to pay off the Broad Ripple Family Center. And the board is pissed off because they didn't even get a vote on it. It's like this board was created so we can make these kind of decisions. And you totally bypassed us. Like, what was the actual point of this whole thing? So they feel like, what's the point anymore? Where's the trust? Oh, sure, we'll do another TIF district, and we'll have another board, and we'll have our members, but at the end of the day, our vote doesn't even count. You're just going to bypass us and then use the money for something else because the city council is so much stronger than the board. Well, here's the deal, folks. Here is the deal. You can vote these people out come election day. How funny is it that this stuff all came out after the election? It is November 28th is when this committee meeting was happening. Almost a full month after election. And let's see, Addison lost his primary. Leroy won his. Lakeisha, David Ray lost his. Barth, Potts didn't run for re-election. McCormick won. Allie Brown, Jared Evans, and these three all won their elections. So if you look on this committee right now, three of them will not be there next year. And let's see, I think one, two, three, four, five, six, were uncontested. So if you really want to start doing something, you need to start looking at who you're voting for. And you need to be making sure you keep receipts on these kind of decisions because these are the decisions that will affect everything, everywhere where you live. So when there's problems going on and you don't feel like you can trust people, guess what? You voted for it. And it has consequences. I hate to tell you, but it does. And I got a feeling, and there is an article on this whole thing. I'm going to put it on the description, but there was a IndyStar article that came out back in 2021. And I just let me spend a few more minutes on this, and we'll get back to this boring crap. All right, so this was January of 2021, almost 3 years ago. And people living in Broad Ripple were kind of pissed off about this thing. Why? Because they were going to be having to pay $80,000 a month in rent. So this was a developer setup. I would be wondering if you would find out who BR Health Holding is, and then you just go and find out if they helped fund anybody's campaign. Which what they were talking about is $1 million a year. And it only goes up if they don't buy this whole thing. If they don't buy the Broad Ripple Family Center, it's going to go up even more. $1 million, and then I think after 25, it's like 1 point something percent. But this is what happens. This whole thing was a setup right from the beginning. They're like, oh, and the this center, I would really guess, this Broad Ripple Park Family Center, I'm guessing doesn't make that much money. Uh, it's only been a year, and they're probably all excited about it right now, but it's only because it's all new and fancy and clean, and there's no boogers or vagrants or threats of violence on there yet. And it'll only get worse. That's why people keep going there for now. So let's continue on. I got a feeling there's going to be some public comment on this.